All right. Good morning, everyone. It's April 10th, it says. So it must be April 10th. I think that must mean it's Good Friday. It's Good Friday, right? I don't know. Tell me if it's Good Friday. I don't know these things. I just have to get my chat up here. There's my chat. Okay. So, yeah, it's April 10th. We're almost, if I look back at it, this is stream number 4. So it's been like 4 weeks since we've been here, since we've like started the social isolation thing going on, and it's kind of weird. Not gonna lie, it's kind of weird. I'm still feeling some of the effects. Like, it's a bit of a roller coaster. Especially like I'm single, I live by myself. I mean, there's a basement person, but I have my dog, so it's kind of weird. Especially like, things like talking to other people. Text isn't the same as talking to someone. So if you're feeling the same way I do, it's always good to call somebody, which I try to do, but some people try to avoid it. Yeah, whatever. I still talk to people. Zoom is handy. They've actually been doing some crazy updates on that. So if you do use Zoom, you'll notice there's been a fair number of changes, especially on Windows. Actually, the whole invite process, I was just doing a sound check today with my sound check person. And on Windows, at least, I don't know about other things, other like tablets or anything, but instead of inviting somebody to the meeting, it's a security button now. You click that and it brings up not the security part. That's not an invite. What am I talking about? The invite button is no longer there. It's a security option. Instead, you go to meeting participants, I believe it is, and it'll bring up who, like, I'm hosting it, say, but then you invite from there. And when somebody comes into your meeting, they're automatically sent to a meeting room. That wasn't there before. It was something you had to actually click some settings. So there's that whole feature. The security thing is a little more secure. Like, there was that concern a while ago, and they've been kind of on top of it. So Zoom is fine. It's working fine. If you're nervous about it, then don't use it. I just find it's really simple to use, and it's great for communicating with people, especially groups. But again, there's the restrictions of if you want to talk in like groups of like 500 people, which would be weird. You're limited to like the 45 minute meetings, whatever. So use Skype or Hangouts or whatever, like things like that. So hopefully in the social isolation, you're still talking to people, literally using your mouth to talk. I know for me, it's been, the hardest part has been missing the students. Not gonna lie, the hard part is I used to talk a lot. Like, essentially this is what I'd do for half an hour. I'd have to talk constantly. If I stop talking in a lesson, it's example is on the radio. If there's silence, it's painful. Having a second of silence on the radio, they talk about dead air. You don't want that. That's essentially like money. Like that's advertising real estate. And so in a lesson, if I stop talking and I'm either not entertaining or teaching or doing whatever, it's awkward. There's just deadness. You're pretty much, it could be like a stare down with your students. So often it's constantly being social, whether I'm feeding off of what the student's doing. If the student says something, I'd usually come up with a quip or a pun and make them laugh. There were times that I'd have students, I had a few students, they'd be like, oh, I don't want to come. And then they'd show up to their lesson and they want to be there. Or it's like, oh, I don't want to play guitar, or I don't want to practice, but then they want to come and hang out with me, essentially, which was kind of the weirdest thing. That makes you feel important, and you're like, well, why do you want to come with me? I'm a weirdo. I'm wearing a Where's Waldo shirt. That's weird. But it's these things that I miss from lessons, like having these pretty much talking to, let's say, average week 35 students, average. Sometimes it's more. It was getting up into the 40s, whatever. But I'm talking every half hour would be talking to a new person with new experiences that I'd get to interact with. It was kind of neat. And I'm missing that a bit because as much as I can say, I'm just moving things around here. Yeah. Oh, by the way, if I'm looking here, that's you. If I'm looking there, that's some of my settings. And if I'm looking there, that's chat. So there's like different things. I have 2 monitors going on. I'm sitting on my drums, by the way, just because I'm going to talk about drums. But yeah, it's this weird thing where now it's like I talk to my dog, my parents, maybe for sure. But it's strange when you're just not interacting in groups. Like, especially I was playing with Battle River Big Band. I was playing with some other groups like that. And with some members of the Battle River Big Band, just before this happened, I was supposed to be playing with there were 10 of us that were going to be doing like a Dixieland thing. And these people I was interacting with like weekly, go to rehearsals after I'd finished teaching. And that's when that just dropped off. It's like, oh, okay, I guess these are people I'm just not seeing now. It's weird. It's just strange. Because most of the group was from Wetaskiwin. So if you don't know where Wetaskiwin is because you barely know where Camrose is, it's about, since we're Alberta, we talk about distance in time. So it's about 20-minute drive just west of Camrose. And so that's Battle River Big Bend is the same thing. It's kind of people from both sides, Camrose and Wetaskiwin, play together. But this is mostly a Wetaskiwin group. And so that group was kind of weird to even feel like I fit in because I'm a Camrose boy. And these guys actually any group I play with, the Battle River Big Band too, there's some like power players, or like people they studied with, some really big names. And I'm like, oh, why am I here? But anyhow, that's a side note. It's just strange not interacting with these people. And looking at it in the future, and this is not to be a downer. Like we're going on these roller coasters, right? So you have good days, you have fantastic days, and then you're like these melancholy days where it's just like, shoot, I guess I'm not going to see this person who knows how long at this point. I'm trying to figure that out because some students I really enjoyed, and I don't want to say like some are better than others, but some I really enjoyed working with, and I'm not sure if I'm going to interact with them for like who knows how long. So that's the strangest thing. We're trying to be patient in these times, but man, some days it's like, oy, it's rough. So hopefully people are holding up in this though. Like, be talking to people. Like, don't just text, don't chat room or whatever. Call them so they can hear your voice. I think that's super important. I don't like hearing the sound of my own voice quite so much anymore. I've been hearing it for a while. So, talk to people. Literally talk to them. Like, pick up your phone, call them, Zoom call, Skype. The technology's there. There's no excuse. There's no excuse of I'm too busy either, because guess what? Most people are not busy. We're stuck at home trying to find stuff to be busy with. And that's the other thing I want to just mention is it's hard when students drop off, gigs drop off, everything drops off. And then the government, at this point with the funding they're offering, and this isn't, it's just, I think it just has, there's supposed to be an announcement about this, but it almost encourages people to do nothing right now. Which, I mean, again, the technology's there, so why can't we do anything? Like, why can't we offer, like, if people want to, as a musician, say there's a lot of concerts going on, why not? Why can't you tip the person, like, GoFundMe or anything like that? I don't know, but we're encouraged not to have any income. So it's kind of this, even if your business is still running, if you're making less, it's like, well, then I might as well shut down if I'm going to be getting more from the government to do nothing. It's strange. Everything's up in the air. This is kind of an unprecedented thing to ever happen in a lifetime. So that's just my commentary. It's 2 cents, whatever. I'm still a happy, jolly person. I'm going on the treadmill for an hour and I want to die after that. I go for walks with my dog, and it's fine. It's good times. I still play music. There's big bass. Guitar I've been playing more of just because I have time for it. Oh, we didn't talk about coffee yet. So, coffee. I am drinking today with my Tim's cup. This is Kicking Horse again, because Kicking Horse should be the best kind ever, and it is. This is a dark roast. It's their green one, which I don't want to say the name on stream because it's a bad word. Well, it's sort of a bad word, depending on your opinion of bad words. But it's good. It's delicious. Hopefully you have good coffee, good tea, whatever you're drinking. So, let us talk about drums and my history with drums. So, I'm sitting at just my electric drums right now. Nothing special. They're just a Yamaha DTX kit. I picked it up probably mid to early 2000s sort of thing. And I still use it today. Like, it's a practice kit, but in the sense of I can use it on recordings too, which is really handy. I actually have, if I want to get some overhead, I have a second camera just above me. I can probably show you that real quick, because it's right here. Hopefully it works. Bam. So there's a camera right there, kind of an overhead. You can see the keyboard. Don't look at the keyboard. But it gives me an overhead shot of what's going down. And so if people are like, how do you play it? I can be like, this is it. I'm not teaching, but it's just to show example of that I can play. Especially if I'm looking at doing some of those multi videos again, where I've done 2 of them. I want to do some more, but I have to figure out what songs I want to do. If anyone has suggestions with that, I have a There's a few songs I'm looking at, but I'm always open to suggestions. That's the biggest thing right now, because people might hate what I do, people might love what I do, so I need to know if people like it or not. And speaking of which, I'll talk about it later. The next thing I was going to talk about, speaking of which, that's later. I'll think of that later. Let's talk about drums. I want to talk about drums because if people are here to listen to drum stuff, yeah, people have to go. No new forgotten. Yeah, I agree with that. Melanie, Jill, music and consulting. Yeah, it's important that people go outside. Get fresh air. I know some people are staying isolated, and you just have to look this is an opportunity to get a look at what's around you, essentially. So, and maybe think about things like there are times I actually look at. I've had some weird communication things over this time where I'm like, I didn't expect that from this person. So, like compliments or anything, I'm just like, whoa, I didn't expect that from you. It's like, oh, thank you. Anyhow, drums. I'm going to talk about drums, and you can do your chats. I'll try to respond to them if people are chatting. So, I started taking drums in high school. Grade, it was 11, 12. I'll talk about webcam and mic combos later. Let me think. So grade 11, 12, I started in beginner band. I was taking band, like I was playing saxophone. Yes, I played saxophone. I played all the saxophones from elementary to grade 12, grade junior high, graduating, whatever. So I took beginner band to start learning an instrument. I almost took trombone because I have the long arms, but I ended up taking drums, starting on drum beats. Hey, it's okay to distract me. It's fine. It's totally fine. That's what streaming's for. I'm supposed to interact with you guys. So anyhow, I started when I was doing that, it was just kind of a side thing, and I enjoyed it. Like I started playing things like church and things like that. I didn't get my first drum kit. It was a Yamaha YD kit I got at, was it Gordon Price Music, I think? And I think here's the ironic part. There's a man I play with these days. He plays guitar, and we just started doing a trio. And if you know who you are, then I think you sold me the drum kit actually a long time ago. This was like 2001. I graduated, and yeah, that's my first drum kit. It was a black YD kit, and I've actually another one of my friends released some videos of his old performances. I'm like, oh, that's the drum kit I used to play. And so that kit isn't with me anymore. I sold that when I got a few upgrades. Yeah. So that one's gone. But the cymbals I still have that I've been like the first set of cymbals I had Sabian B8s. I had a full set of those, and eventually those went to the church I was attending because I bought new ones. And so the cymbals I actually use, I have them here. These I bought at the local music store, Mark the Music, where you can buy music stuff. I shouldn't. Oh, okay. Anyhow, so I got these long time ago. Oh, they're so shiny. These are my Zildjian Avita cymbals. I have a full set, and I actually like them. I've been looking at getting more. Problem is, why invest in things when you're not playing that much? Did you play drums or guitar? Drums were before guitar. Yep. Yeah, these cymbals I've had since, I'm gonna say like 2003-ish. Somewhere in there, and they're nice. Like they sound great. I just want to get a few more. Like I'd like to get I have a set of, this is a crash, I have a ride, and new beat hi-hats, and a splash. But I'd like to get like, a few more just to add to it. Anyhow, and then more recently, the last bit, I've been doing a bit more drum stuff. But let's talk about that first. I ended up playing more bass than anything. So my drumming is there's a lot of self-taught, but a lot less practical. I'd like to be playing with more drums. I mean, at this point it's kind of weird, but playing more drums would be a lot of fun because a lot of what I do is self-taught. Whether it's, I play jazz, like jazz swing, rock, whatever, country. I end up on bass, or there's another bass. I end up playing bass instead of drums, which is kind of weird. Trying to find that musical identity when I can play everything. It's like, am I a bass player? Am I a drummer? I just call myself a rhythmic supporter. But so for the most part, what I did was I'd jump in with groups, but I was never actually like the drummer of a group. I'd be, okay, we're playing this gig. Okay, I'm playing drums for it. And the other thing was, a lot of my practical experience was through church. playing on electric drums, which isn't necessarily ideal, but hey, it's playing drums. So more recently, though, I've gotten into a few other kits. So I have a few years ago, I picked up just a tiny little busking kit. It's called the Ludwig Breakbeats kit. And it's this tiny, I don't have reference, that's in storage upstairs. But it's a nice, shiny, sparkly, tiny 16-inch bass drum, 10 and 13-inch toms, and just a regular 14-inch snare. And so that kit, and it was just the shells, so that kit I used quite a bit, but I wanted to get something bigger. So more recently, just before Christmas, I picked up a Mapex kit, which is a bigger kit because I'm 6'7". I needed something bigger, so picked up a Mapex kit, and it's this. I have a couple reference drums. It's this kind of fancy, schmancy. It was a used kit, but they had to use it for some recording, so it still has some nice skins on it. So a Mapex kit. Now it was 6-piece kit, so it's like I don't remember the smaller size. So it's like a 9, a 10, 12, 13, and 16-inch toms, 22-inch kick, and a 14-inch snare. And that thing I like. The only thing is I only use 2 toms. I use the floor tom, and I use the 13? I use the 13, I think, 13-inch. Because I use it for more jazz settings, so I like having only like a 4-piece. So snare, 2 toms, and bass drum. So these are the skins that came with it when I bought it. Still original skins on the bottom that were red, but you have the Evans. I can't remember what this is called. Somebody can remember the ringed ones. Anyhow, I like my coated skins. So I put on coated skins. Coated skins have coating on them. There you go. That's the difference, if you're wondering. I like the sound of them. They're drier sound. They're more chill. And for jazz, they're really handy. And I like the bigger size shells if I want to do big band stuff. If I'm doing jazz, smaller shells are usually better, but it's whatever. So anyhow, that's kind of gear. A few things I have with that. Now the drums, I'm going to play a bit, see how it goes. I'm going to use my electric drums just because I don't want to control it. So I'm going to throw some headphones on so I can hear what I'm saying. And now, the one thing, the question that I mentioned last time was, what's easier? Is it easier to play and sing with drums or bass? I find it easier to play with drums. Or play and sing with drums because I'm more used to playing and singing with drums, I guess. It's the self-conscious thing, your brain being like, hey, I can do this because I've done this enough. The funniest thing is I was doing a recording with guitar and I forgot the words and then my tempo went way off because I was like, my brain was like, gotta fix this. And so I had to redo it. But that's just what happens when your brain starts doing wacky stuff. You gotta fix it. So I'm gonna just do a bit of singing. Hopefully my voice holds up. I've been drinking coffee since, when did I get up? Early. I like coffee. At 7:30? Straight coffee. By the way, if you're a singer, yes, I know the one person in chat is a singer, but I'm like, coffee's fine for singing. I don't know what you're talking about. Coffee doesn't dry out anything. It's good and delicious. You should have coffee all the time when you're singing. So there. So I am going to turn on my drums. That one. Oops. All right. And if this is too loud or anything, people have to let me know. I have to get drumsticks apparently because I put mine somewhere. Those aren't the right ones. Okay, I have like everything in here but the drumsticks I need. Where's my drumsticks? Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, more drum things. So I've been since I've been playing, I started with match grip, which means your sticks are, if you can hear that good. So I've been playing match grip, American style, which means thumbs aren't up, turned in a bit, but my sticks are the same in both hands. I'm holding them the same. But more recently, kind of in the last couple of years, I've been trying traditional grip and trying to work that in, which means essentially instead of your fulcrum being between your thumb and first finger, it ends up being between your thumb and first finger, but in the kind of rut there. That's the main grip. That's the fulcrum. And then my finger, my ring finger comes underneath to support it, and then the other one grips it. The middle finger supports it the other way. So I don't do warm-ups when I sing. Sorry, Mel, Jill, whatever. So I'm just gonna show you what I first started with was just drum beats, right? And so one of the funny bands, we'll say, I played with the Beatles cover band. If you know, some of the guys that we did stupid stuff. We played for, there was the senior telethon thing. And that was like the first time we played together live in front of people. And my kick pedal broke. And so what we're doing, I should move my keyboard so I don't wreck it. So it was like the Ticket to Ride. Bum, 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 bum. That kind of thing. And my kick pedal died. Like the spring on the side fell apart. And so that was a little awkward. I had to fix. I didn't actually end up fixing it. I ended up not using the kick drum because I couldn't. But it was pretty funny because we weren't even allowed to set up beforehand. We were like on the side of the stage, and it's like, can I set up my drums? And the stage manager's like, no. I'm like, but you want us up like, we're like, he's like, no, you can't. And I'm like, what? And so we get up there, and like the first song, it's literally like the first hit or two. And all of a sudden, like my kick pedal falls apart. I'm like, okay, that's good. So actually the kick pedal I have now, I spent some money on it, got a nice single kick with the dual chains. It's a Yamaha. And the cool thing about it is that it has like stripes on the side that are glow in the dark, so you can find your pedal. Anyhow, so then it was like all Beatles stuff. So it was, what did we do? We did things like Paperback Writer, the da 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 da, that kind of thing. We didn't do Come Together. We did Lady Madonna, like Lady Madonna, children at your feet, wonders how you manage to make ends meet. That kind of thing. And it was a gong show because we also, here's the silliest part of it, let's say. We wore wigs. We wore Beatles wigs. And if anyone who's actually watching this video live or whatever and knows what I'm talking about, that was painful. We tried to be the Beatles, but we were in university and we weren't the most intelligent people ever. It was bad. It was hilariously bad. Okay, so another one we did. This was with some guys I was living with in the university times. We did our was a neighbor aid thing, and we just did a bunch of random stuff. So we did a bunch of classic rock, and I played drums for that. And it was like we did, what was the song we did? We did Drive My Car, like baby, you can drive my car. Yes, I'm gonna be a star. Baby, you can drive my car, and baby, I love you. And there's that that sort of thing where it has that and you can do something in between, that sort of thing. And that was a crazy concert. I mean, one of my friends who was deciding to announce or like kind of be the lead of it, he's like, he told jokes about socks. It was weird. Again, university, we're stupid. It's just how it works. Anyhow, more recently though, what I've been doing is anytime I have been playing drums that are outside of the university stuff, more recently it's been a little more serious, but still, my friend and I do some silly stuff like, what is it? Mr. Aladdin, sir, what will your pleasure be? Let me take your order, jot it down. You ain't never had a friend like me. Oh, no, no. Life is your restaurant and I'm your maitre d'. Come on and whisper what it is you want. You ain't never had a friend like me. That kind of thing. We're doing, what's another one? We do, Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes, it's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, ooh. Every day they're out there making DuckTales. So, stuff like that. Animaniacs, that'd be too weird. But these are songs we do. We do everything from, like, we're playing at the market, but we've done Jaywalkers. If you're from Cameron, you know what Jaywalkers is. Who knows if that's going on this year? But we just do silly songs. Not for the most part. We're actually planning like a Saturday morning cartoon sort of thing. So we did Ninja Turtles, like the original like 80s, 90s Ninja Turtles cartoon theme. And I was playing drums for that. And I just sing and play drums. So anyhow, like a lot of more recently, like the most recent thing I was doing was I was playing with the jazz quartet, which we were potentially going to move to a quintet. It was a jazz quartet, and names because it's already advertised, so I can say names for this. So I was playing drums. We had Art Fodham playing double bass. Yeah, there's another double bass player in camera, so he was playing his double bass. This is mine. His is better than mine. And Eric Olson on piano and keys and stuff. And then we had my Ruthervalues singing, and it was a lot of fun. As a group, we had a lot of fun. We were going to bring in Tom Spieler for guitar, but that's all. Who knows what's going to happen with that? But it was my opportunity to play some jazz and swing with some jazz and swingy people who like that kind of music. So we did like fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. That sort of thing. But I wasn't singing. Somebody else was singing. So, yeah, a lot of my drums ended up being second to playing bass. So I like playing drums. I love it, but I just need more practical time with it. And so in this social time, the weirdest thing is I practice enough. I need to play with more people. And that's the awkward part of this. So, yeah, so we're getting low on time. I'm looking at questions. Let's hear some. I don't want to trill warm up because, again, I don't warm up. Aladdin, yeah, we do Aladdin. Taking a Crest, Animaniacs, no. Maybe if you, no, you can't pay me at this point. Nobody's allowed to pay me. If there's any questions, now's the time to ask them. But I'm going to talk about my projects that I've been working on, and then I'll essentially to close out. So if you have questions, ask them now. Otherwise, I'm going to talk about what I've been doing. So more recently, I've been getting requests for computer help. And so I've been offering, just like if people message me, whatever, they can, whether it's on Facebook or whatever, email, if they're having issues, it can be anything as minor as like, should I buy this mouse for my computer? Or should I, is my computer dying, essentially? Like those sorts of things are what I've been trying to answer for people. And I'm saying right now, I'm not going to charge you. Essentially, as things go on, just promote and let people know I'm doing this. Because I am trying to do some consulting and things with technology in mind. But the biggest thing I've been working on, more recently, putting a lot of time into, are some videos. And the most recent one, I'm actually pretty happy with it. So if you go to you're on my YouTube channel if you're watching this live, and you go watch my most recent video I put up, it's a tutorial on turning things off and on again. I'm pretty happy with how it worked out, and I'm going to do a few more of those. I'm going to try to go basics, and then as it goes on, I'll see where it goes from there. I'm still writing a few things, but that's kind of on the back burner to figure out this technology thing, because people are requesting more assistance with technology because they take their work computer home and they have no support at home. like you're used to somebody coming at night and doing updates for you, or you send in a ticket to your IT support or whatever, and you're used to like the office, the guy comes in, does his work, and then leaves. But when you're at home with your tower or laptop, then it's like, oh, okay. So people can get in touch with me. You can, it's a great way for me to keep my mind busy, because I don't want to just do nothing. I always want to keep working, and I'll do it for nothing at this point. So yeah, that's right. I'm doing things for nothing. So watch my videos, see if you enjoy them. I do mention a Patreon in the video, but a lot of that, the payout, I won't be doing until I figure out, because essentially how Patreon would work is I pay myself out, but I wouldn't do anything until and I don't expect people to subscribe yet anyway. It's not really advertised hard yet. But I wouldn't do a payout until, late, like probably later this year. So, because essentially we can't make money. That's how it's supposed to work. If you want that, what is it? The Canadian Emergency Response Benefit. That's what it is. CERB. So, again, I know the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, is supposed to be announcing something about that because people are worried about that. They want to keep doing what they're doing, even with the reduced amount of load. Like, say, if you are teaching music lessons online, or if you're doing yoga or anything, they want to keep doing it, even if they have the less income. But if they're under that, like if the benefit would give them more money, then it's almost like encouraging them to stop what they're doing, which is strange to me. So I'm just going to keep doing my thing and keep watching the news because that's the best we can do. Things are just coming. Information keeps coming, and we have to be discerning on what's relevant and useful to us, and try to keep our heads on. It's tricky because a lot of people are missing what their you could say former life. But what life is like right now compared to what it was, say, a month ago, because for me, it's been about a month of being here, figuring out what to do next. So there's no really figuring out what to do next. You just use the information that's in front of you and try to be intelligent about it. Don't panic. Breathe. And as I mentioned before, call people, talk to them directly. As much as chat and texts are fine to say like, hey, how's it going? Oh, I'm doing good. It doesn't. When you say I'm doing good, that can mean like 5 things. It can mean I don't want to talk to you. That's the funniest one. Sorry for breathing the mic. I don't want to talk. Like as a deflection, I don't know why I'm saying 5 things. It can be a deflection, be like, I'm just ignore it. That might be the time to call somebody too. If they're giving you a generic answer, they could actually be doing something. They could be busy. It might not be a deflection. Maybe they are doing good and they just, whatever. Maybe they just don't want to talk to you. That's mean. Why did I say that? Maybe they don't want to talk to you. They want to talk. Maybe they just don't have time to talk. No, that's not an excuse anymore. Unless you are like health. By the way, health people, I'm ranting. Health people, grocery people, whatever. Those are like the important people right now. So love them. Get in touch with them if you can. Like those are the difficult people to get in touch with. But if you can like be like, yeah, you guys are doing stuff. That's hyper important. Like as much as I miss my music and everything like that, what it was before, what I do is it's entertainment. It's secondary. Like there are people who deserve support who are in this because they're just kind of like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to help you. And that is the strangest thing. So stay safe, go outside, go for a walk. It's nice out. Actually, today it's lovely. If you're in Camrose, it's the April 10th. Good Friday. Go for a walk because it's lovely out right now. Drink water, do exercise, drink coffee because it's better for your voice than anything else, because as I'm talking to a voice coach who's in chat. Yeah, and I'll talk to you next week. I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet, but if there are any musicians who do, or music people, don't have to be professional or anything, who would like to do come into one of these and we do a longer episode, or stream, and I'd send you some interview questions and we talk about things, just see how you're doing through things, see how you're doing with your musical projects or what projects you're working on that might not be musical. All right, so I'm going to shut down and I'll talk to you guys next week. Check out my videos on YouTube. That'd be great because there's old stuff that I did last summer and then up to about Christmas. I took a break, and then there's stuff that's coming out now, and there'll be kind of weekly releases. So check those out. I'd really appreciate it. And if you see something of mine, share it, because I'd like other people to see what I'm doing, because I don't have contact with everybody that was either a student or people that I've been interacting with before, because I don't have their information. So I'll see you guys next time, and stay safe. My mouse and keeper's here, so this is where I'm going to have to shut it down.